Oh my god, I just realized I don't have my microphone on. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Or Hallo, willkommen zurück zu meinem YouTube-Kanal. Do we say channel in German? I don't actually know. I think we probably do because we speak English all the time. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Veronica. I am a full-time educator. I teach German language classes and I'm also a part-time reseller. I sell women's clothing primarily on the platforms Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. I do live in Virginia, so I'm a German expat. And today we're going to merge my love for the German language with my love for reselling. And I'm so excited to record today's video. It's long overdue. I've been announcing it for probably 2 months now. Today is going to be part 1 of my German fashion brands and designer pronunciation guide. Hallelujah, it's finally here. Willkommen. So ever since I started this YouTube channel, I've had the idea to create a video where I talk about designers and fashion brands that have German or Germanic names and that are constantly mispronounced by most speakers of English. And just to get it out of the way, I'm not here to criticize anyone for their pronunciation. I don't know how to pronounce all the things. I mispronounce words in English all the time. I mispronounce brands from countries that I'm not that familiar with. So this is not to criticize anyone. It's just simply to provide a little guide for all of those German and Swiss and Austrian brands that you may come across in your reseller journey. And if you're a YouTuber and you want to learn how to pronounce them, then stick around and follow along with this video and any upcoming videos from this series. At this point in time, I have about 20 brands on my list to go over, brands/designers. But today we're just going to focus on 10-ish with some honorable mentions. Now, I will primarily be focusing on brands that are either from Germany, Switzerland, or Austria, and that have names that are, for all intents and purposes, pronounced in a German fashion. Now, I'm fully aware that the German spoken in Austria and Switzerland is different from Germany, and it's not my intention to just lump all of them together like there's no difference. I simply want to point out that the pronunciation of these brands and designers is very, very similar, if not the same, in all 3 countries and all 3 languages. So we're including brands and designers from Austria and Switzerland as well, because some of them are really well known in the United States and particularly in the reseller world. Before we get started though, let's give a shout out to my shirt. I usually wear a pre-owned item. This one's not pre-owned. It is one of the few shirts I still have left in my closet that have any German on them. This one's actually a band tee by one of my favorite German bands. And it's actually it's not profanity, but it's kind of like a rude saying, but then it isn't, because when you just translate the words du mich auch, it doesn't really make any sense unless you've grown up in a German-speaking context, because this phrase is basically a response to another phrase, and that phrase is rude. So it's kind of like saying right back at you, but you wouldn't know what implied phrase precedes this one. Am I making sense? I don't know. It's like 9 o'clock on a Friday night. I try to squeeze myself into one of the few shirts I have left that have any German on them. I purchased these when I was in my early 20s. I'm in my late 30s now, and my body has changed, and I'm surprised I could still squeeze that on my body. Surprised and kind of happy, but it's definitely a crop top at that point. Make no mistake. We're not going to look at that. Anyway, I love it. I had to find something German. I think I have 1 or 2 more for the upcoming parts of this series. Hope you guys didn't expect me to wear a Dirndl and Lederhosen, because you're not going to see any of that on this channel. No. Okay, let's get started. So again, I'm focusing specifically on clothing, fashion brands, and designers here. There are other channels on YouTube that have done similar videos just talking about famous German brands and how they're pronounced, that include other brands like Volkswagen and Porsche, which are car manufacturers. And I'm sure that's exciting and interesting to a lot of people, but because this is a reselling channel, I want to specifically focus on clothing for now. If you're a reseller and you resell hard goods, please let me know in the comments down below if you come across any German or German sounding brands, and I'll be happy to include them in an upcoming video as well. I do have a few in mind. but I will not be including those today. And also, if there are any other brands that you know that you've come across where you think that they could be German or Swiss or Austrian, leave them in the comments down below. If I don't already know them, I will make sure to research them and include them in the upcoming video too. I will be trying to give you a little bit of info on all of these brands. It's basically just what I looked up and I took some notes. I'm by no means an expert on any of these brands, but I figured in addition to giving you the pronunciation, it would be cool to give you a little bit of information about the brand as well. Let's get started with probably one of the most famous German brands that most people know, and I've talked about it plenty of times on this channel, and I've actually taught a few other resellers how to pronounce it correctly, meaning the German way, and that brand is Adidas. For American speakers or English speakers, you often will call it Adidas, and that's fine. People will understand you, obviously, but in Germany we say Adidas. Adidas is the largest sportswear manufacturer in Europe and the second largest sportswear manufacturer in the world, right after Nike. It was founded in 1924 by the brothers Adolf and Rudolf Dassler, and the brand is actually named after Adolf Dassler, and it's an abbreviation of his first and last name, Adidas. So you may have known this already, but something that you may not have known is that his brother Rudolf, at some point in their career, they split up, they went their separate ways, and his brother founded the company Puma, which you may be familiar with. Puma is actually the third largest sportswear manufacturer in the world, so you could say that they both have done well for themselves. There is a whole big backstory why they split up the company and what kind of rivalry was going on, and I don't know all the details, but I know that there's a movie on Amazon Prime that focuses on the story of Adidas and Puma. I forgot what exactly the title is, but I will put it down below, and I have it on my watch list. If it's still on Amazon Prime, I will make sure to watch it. Adidas today also owns Reebok and Runtastic, in case you didn't know that. I didn't know that until I researched it for this video. Now, honorable mention to Puma, which is a brand that is pretty easy to pronounce in English, so I will not say too much about it. But again, they became the rival of Adidas because of that rivalry between the two brothers. Puma was actually founded in 1948. The second brand on my list is a brand you all know, and you probably think you're pronouncing it right, but not quite. So, the brand we're talking about is Birkenstock. You may think, okay, Veronica, I know how to say Birkenstock, but you're probably saying Birkenstock, which again is an Americanized version of the actual German name. Birkenstock is how we would pronounce it in Germany. Now, Birkenstock has been around since 1774, and it's probably the best known brand of comfort shoes in the world. They are a German staple, they are a classic, and as resellers, we all want to find it because even in trashed condition, it still sells. Talk about quality. Birkenstock was founded by Johann Adam Birkenstock, like I said, back in 1774, and they are well known for their contoured cork footbeds and for shoes that support and contour your feet. The infamous Birkenstock footbed was actually created in 1896. And Birkenstock was first introduced to the American market in 1966. Great brand to find and resell, and now you know how to pronounce it. Birkenstock. Another brand I wanted to include that also produces comfort shoes, just of a slightly different caliber as Birkenstock, is the brand Reseller. Reseller is not quite as well known on the American market, but they do have a presence here as well, and they're actually a Swiss brand, but originally founded in the Black Forest region of Germany back in 1874. Reseller produces also footwear and accessories, and they have been family owned for 5 generations, and they are kind of comparable to Dansko or Sanitas in terms of the type of shoes that they produce. I have a pair of Reseller shoes in my closet, and my mom, who still lives in Germany, has her eye on these shoes. And I already told her if they don't sell for a decent amount, by the time we next see each other, which thanks to the Panini, who knows when that's going to be. But if they don't sell by the time I next see her, I will bring those home to Germany, purchase them here in the United States at Goodwill, but I will bring them home to her and give them to her because they're in her favorite color, they're in her size, and I think she really wants them. I should probably just pull them from my closet and ship them to her because that's what good daughters do. Great brand for comfort shoes. It doesn't quite resell as well on the American market because it's just lesser known. But again, for pronunciation purposes, Rike is how you pronounce that brand. The next brand slash designer, I'm not 1000% sure I'm pronouncing it right, but my German instinct tell me it's pronounced Bogner. Bogner is a brand that was founded by the fashion designer Willy Bogner Jr. Junior, I guess. How do we say junior in German? Willy Bogner der Zweite, I guess. Bogner is a brand that specializes in ski wear and other athletic wear like golf and tennis. And it was founded by the fashion designer and filmmaker and also former alpine ski racer Willy Bogner. Again, I think that's how it's pronounced. I've heard people call this brand Bonnier, which I don't think is right, because as far as I know, they don't have any French ancestry. If you know for sure how to pronounce this brand, please leave it in the comments down below. I wanted to include it because I'm generally curious how this brand is pronounced. But just for me, as a German native speaker, looking at the name, I would say Bogner. I've heard it pronounced Bogner on the American market. I'm pretty sure that's wrong. So maybe they're being fancy and want their name to be pronounced the French way, Bonnier. I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, it's Bogner. You may correct me in the comments below. Alright, you guys, so I just realized I did not have my microphone attached to my shirt for the entire first half of the video. I hope that footage is salvageable because I really don't want to re-record it. If the audio was crappy up to this point and is suddenly getting better, I apologize for the entire first half. Two more fun facts about Bogner. They actually used to outfit the German Winter Olympic team up until 2018, but then Adidas took over. And also, Willy Bogner is actually a filmmaker and he's worked on several James Bond movies. Who knew? I didn't. I actually have a Bogner sweater, vintage, with a crest on it in my Poshmark closet. And I have no idea how it's going to do yet because I listed it in the spring and it's definitely winter wear. But overall, the brand does retail and resell for a good bit. So definitely something to keep your eye out for. The next brand is not super exciting in terms of resale value. I don't really think it's that well known here in the United States, even though they do have a presence, but I wanted to include it anyway. The brand is Ola Popkin, and the reason why I wanted to include Ola Popkin is because it's actually kind of like the German Torrid / Lane Bryant. It's a plus-size women's fashion store. They sell in lots and lots of stores across Europe, but they also have a catalog that you can order from, and that's what they're known for. They actually started out as a maternity store and then evolved into selling plus-size fashion. And they've been on the US market since 1993. I found Ola Popkin every once in a while and I always want to pick it up because it's like a piece of home, you know? I remember the Ola Popkin store that I walked by 1,000 times when I was in college, and I never actually went inside because at the time I was in my early 20s and it felt kind of matronly, again, comparable to Lane Bryant probably. Yeah, they make nice clothes. I actually just found a piece, really cute blouse at the local thrift store, and I put it back because I know it doesn't resell for a lot, but it hurt me a little bit because I get excited when I find German brands. What can I say? The next brand is a brand you've probably heard of. I know that Lori from Lori's Boston Found has found this brand and tried to pronounce this brand, and she's actually getting really good at it, so shout out to Lori. The brand is called Liebeskind, and Liebeskind is a brand from Berlin. Berlin, my favorite city in Germany, brings about lots of cool little designer labels, fashion brands, and Liebeskind is certainly one of them. They specialize in handbags and other leather goods. They use really like fine materials and focus on all the little details in their products. So definitely a brand that retails for a lot and also resells really well if you find their purses. They've included clothing at this point as well. I don't know how the clothing does compared to the bags. I think the bags is where it's at, but definitely high quality goods. And if you find it, pick it up and pronounce it Liebeskind. Liebeskind actually translates to like a good child. Kind is the German word for child, and Liebe can mean love. It can also mean dear in the sense of dear John. Also, it can just indicate that somebody has been a good child. So Liebeskind is kind of in that realm, even though Liebeskind in and of itself is not really a word that we use in the German language. There's another brand that also ends in Kind, and that brand name is Wunderkind, which I don't know if you found it before, but it's definitely sold on sites like Farfetch and Vestaire. It's actually a brand that was founded by Wolfgang Job, a famous German designer. I don't know how well known he is on the international market, but he's definitely famous in Germany. And he's actually from the city of Potsdam, which is very close to the city where I grew up in. And it's also very close to Berlin. He founded the brand Wunderkind, which is like a miracle child. You probably know the word Wunderkind if you're into basketball and you know about Dirk Nowitzki, the German Wunderkind. In any case, you pronounce it Wunderkind in German, and it was established by Wolfgang Job and his partner in 2003. They show their clothing at all the big time fashion weeks, and yeah, he founded this brand in his hometown of Potsdam. And like I said, it is sold on all the important sites. I'm not sure if it's sold on the RealReal. I don't think I've seen it on there. But if you find it, you can probably get a good amount for it. Okay, the next designer I have on my list is a designer I've never found before, and I really only heard about this designer recently when I did some research for this video. But I really like the look of the website, the clothing, and kind of what they stand for. So I'm very intrigued to learn more about this particular designer, and the designer is Dorothee Schumacher. Now, Schumacher is a name you may be familiar with from the American market, but Americans tend to pronounce it Schumacher or something along those lines. It's Schumacher, which technically means shoemaker. However, her name is spelled slightly differently. She doesn't have an H after the U, so it's really not shoemaker. But that's what it kind of originates from. Dorothee Schumacher is a designer, and her label was founded back in 1989. And she produces a lot of women's clothing, shoes, and accessories. And she has some really interesting pieces on her website. Definitely retails for a good amount, probably resells for a good amount too. I think I actually found her for the first time when I was looking at the RealReal, and I was looking at brands to potentially pick up for reselling. She did a collaboration with the United Nations, which is really, really cool. And also, she dressed Cori Bush for her cover on Teen Vogue, and I'll make sure to insert that picture here. Overall, really interesting aesthetic. I really like her website. You should definitely check her out. There's a lot of interesting information on there, a lot of interesting quotes about sort of the brand's mission and approach to dressing women, and I'm very curious to learn more about this brand. Okay, the next brand I have on my list because of Hope from Rags to Riches Resale, because she did an unboxing recently. I think it was a ThredUp 200-pound box or something like that. Or 100-pound box, I don't even know. But she pulled out this brand, and I think she even gave me a shout out because of the name of the brand. It kind of screams German / Austrian / Swiss, and it's actually an Austrian brand called Frauenschuh. Frauenschuh translates to a women's shoe, but it's actually the last name of the founder of the brand, Kaspar Frauenschuh. And this brand was founded in Austria in 1950. And again, it's such an interesting brand that I look forward to research a little bit more and learn more about. And I would love to find it because also this brand is luxury, it resells really well, and it retails for a lot of money. So again, Austrian brand, they focus on, as they call it, timeless and luxurious men's and women's fashion. They're famous for their leather and lambskin jackets, and one of their staple pieces in all of their collections are actually fleece jackets and also ski pants. They're very focused on sustainability and fair trade. They actually don't use any chemical agents in their manufacturing process. And as of 2020, they have decided to no longer use a seasonal collection model, and instead they're going to do drops and deliver their products in drops. And they're doing this to continue combating fast fashion, which I think is really, really cool and interesting. And again, I'm interested to learn more about this particular brand. So Frauenschuh is an Austrian brand that you should definitely pick up if you find it. The last brand I just had to include, it's not clothing, but I had to include it because it's clothing adjacent, it's reselling adjacent, probably. You've probably all heard of the brand, but you're probably all mispronouncing it just a little bit. Although it's such a staple brand that, you know, it's not wrong to pronounce it in a more Americanized way. But the company I'm talking about is an Austrian company called Swarovski. You're probably saying Swarovski, or maybe you're struggling to pronounce it because it has a lot of consonants really close together, which Germans are cool with that. Our ability to pronounce these is just kind of given to us by birth. Fun fact, my maiden name consists of 7 letters, 6 of which are consonants. It's every American's nightmare, which is part of the reason why I took my husband's name when I got married. In any case, I digress. Swarovski is how we would say it in German and in also Austrian German and Swiss German. So Swarovski obviously is a brand that is known for their crystal, for their jewelry. Swarovski crystals are known around the world, and the brand actually produces other items as well. They manufacture telescopes and binoculars, and they also manufacture grinding, sawing, drilling, and dressing tools. If I'm looking over here, it's because that's where my laptop with my notes is. Really cool, I didn't know that. It was founded in 1895 and it's currently run by the 5th generation of the family. So there you have it, Swarovski or Swarovski. I feel like it's harder to say with the American accent, like the Americanized version is harder to say than the German, so Swarovski, practice it. All right, you guys, those are the 10 plus 1 bonus brands that I have for you guys today. I think this video is getting really long, and I really hope that the first half of this video recorded okay with my microphone somewhere on the floor while I'm sitting up here talking. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, and if you want to see more pronunciation guides to more German brands, whether it's clothing or other items you may be reselling, hard goods, let me know. Drop them in the comments down below and let me know which brands you want me to include in a future video. And also, if you're not sure, just drop the brand, I'll do the research and I'll figure out if it's actually a German brand or not. I might also include brands that are not German but have German names. I don't know how many of those are out there, but we can talk about that. We can talk about the imposters. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy reseller content and if you want to see more of these kinds of videos, please do hit the subscribe button down below, hit that bell notification so you can get notified whenever I do post new videos. And like I said, leave me a comment, say hi, and let me know which brands I should tackle next. Tschüss!